Dawn from Let's Make a Mess today. How are you doing? Well, this is interesting. I wanted to come on this morning and do a part two book review on this book specifically. And then I realized that today is Juneteenth, and this is the day 3 years ago that we lost our little Gracie. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. So anyway, all right, let me put this over here because I'm really gonna not. Whew, it's still very hard. Okay. So anyway, all right. Spoiler alert. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers here. Am I the only one on the planet that just really disliked this book? Like, there was nothing that I loved about this book. Nothing. The cover. I loved the cover. The cover was pretty. Now, spoiler alert, you guys. First of all, I've never read an Ann Patchett before. And the way the internet book talk and booktube and everybody on the planet was like, you've got to read this book. You've got to read this book. Well, I've never read an Ann Patchett before, so I was like, I can't wait to read this book. And I mean, she's got so many awards. The Penn Faulkner Award, the Women's Prize for Fiction, the Book Sense of the Year, the Dutch House, which is in my TBR. And it's the writing itself is pretty good, but let me just, this is my take on the book. And by no means am I a major book reviewer / hoity-toity intellect by any means, but this is just, my take on it. And so I gave this book, as you can see, I bought it at a thrift store. I gave this book, I think that's going to be stuck on there. I gave this book every opportunity. I thought, it's my mood today. It's because it's because I'm not in the mood to read. It's my, I just can't get into it. Now, this book only has less than 300 pages, 300 and something pages. 308 pages. Let me just read this preface really quick to tell you what it was about. I just finished it last night, so it's pretty new. I mean, I have it on the brain. But it says, in this beautiful, moving novel about family, love, and growing up, Ann Patchett once again proves herself to be one of America's finest writers. Okay. This is a $50 book. $30 book. I was going to go, what? So in the spring of 2020, okay, so this is all definitely supposedly set during the pandemic, which we'll get to that. Laura's 3 daughters returned to the family's orchard in northern Michigan. While picking cherries, they begged their mother to tell them the story of Peter Duke, a famous actor with whom she shared both stage and a romance years before at a theater company called Tom Lake. As Laura recalls the past, her daughters examine their own lives and their relationships with their mother and are forced to reframe the understanding of the world they thought they knew. Not even, you guys. Tom Lake is a meditation on youthful love, married love, and the lives of our parents led before they were our parents. Possibly. Both hopeful and elegiac. Okay, there we go. Told you I'm not an intellect. It explores what it means to be happy even when the world is falling apart. As in all her novels, Ann Patchett combines compelling narrative artistry with piercing insights into family dynamics. Maybe a little. The result is a rich and luminous story told with profound intelligence and emotional acuity that demonstrates once again why she's one of the most acclaimed literary talents at work today. That's a lot to unpack, but we're just going to leave a lot of that there. All right, let's just start out with the fact that, yes, I did learn more about Michigan than I ever thought I knew. Let me fix this video. I did not know that Michigan was so beautiful. I always wanted to visit the Great Lakes. That is a fact. Let me fix this really quick. But I did not realize it was so, there's, so many orchards and fruits and things like that. It just sounds lovely. I've always wanted to go to Michigan, so this does in fact just, solidify the fact that someday that's on my list. I'm going to go to Michigan. All right. Okay. I don't even know where to start. So, first of all, the writing obviously is great. Like I said, I'm no, review person. I mean, I'm not, the best person to review, but this is my take on the book, you guys. Am I the only one who felt this way about the book? I don't know. I kind of thought, this is a tough word, I thought it was a slog, is that the right word? To get through. It was like every night I picked it up, every night I wanted to fall in love with it and move on and get excited. This was monotone for me. It was this woman, Laura, and all her kids, which, let's talk about her kids for a second. So first of all, was a budding actress who never quite made it. She made one movie and then she did a play. She always did the same play. She played Emily in Our Town over and over and over. And the play, Emily, she fell in love with this guy when she got to Michigan and met Peter Duke. He always called her Emily, and he was an interesting character. He is probably the most interesting character of the book. But then she played Emily 2 or 3 times in different plays. She named her daughter Emily, and Duke always called her Emily, not by her real name. So there was a lot of Emily going on in this book, and you're like, wow, okay. So it was almost as if there was this obsession with the name Emily. Then she actually named her daughter Emily, and I was like, wow, okay. So that was really weird. And so this is gonna, I know I'm not doing a very good job because I just had my coffee. I'm not awake yet. But it got really tedious, the Emily bit, and so the daughters were interesting, and they were all very different. One of them wanted to stay in Michigan and do the cherry farming. One of them wanted to be a vet. She was pretty interesting. And Nell wanted to be an actress, which I'm surprised it wasn't Emily who wanted to be an actress, So she's basically she's basically telling her daughters about her life, behind her. But there was no excitement. It was very monotone. I was in Los Angeles and this happened, and then I met your dad at Tom Lake and we went swimming, and then we drank a lot of tequila, and we met. Then I met his brother, and it was just very one note to me. It just did not ever go anywhere exciting. I just kept waiting for it to get exciting, and it just did not get exciting. There was a couple of exciting people. Like I did like her agent was kind of interesting. And then at the very end, when she saw Duke, when he was at a rehab, and he used her for sex, she went all the way to see. He said, "Come visit me," but he basically wanted to have some sex in a closet, which she ends up getting pregnant, and then she had an abortion. But, it alludes to her having an abortion. And the whole time this is going on, Emily, her oldest daughter, thought that she was Duke's daughter. She was obsessed with Duke. So it was just a kind of a weird dynamic. And I'm giving you some of the highlights, you guys. And those were the highlights, which were very... one note to me. It just didn't go there. I couldn't wait for it to end. Do you guys remember when I read Olive Kitteridge, that series? It almost was there for me, and I really hated that Olive Kitteridge book. That whole series, I was like, I didn't finish it. This one almost got to my DNF, but I thought, it's got to get better. It's got to get better. It's got to get better. But it didn't. And for me, it was just a slog. And I told you some of the parts that I read that I thought were really weird, how she was just, like they went over and over the Emily play a lot, and her relationships were just meh to me, and I don't know. And so let's talk about the pandemic part. So this was supposedly taking place during 2020, and that's how they all ended up back in Michigan on at the Nelson farm, where she ended up marrying this guy Joe Nelson, and that's who the kids are. She had a family with him, and so they ended up back on this farm during the pandemic. But they only talked about the pandemic was just kind of like a side note, which is cool. But I mean, really, it was a side note. It just that it almost was as if the pandemic didn't matter to this story at all. So why even go there? And then it felt like, yeah, maybe she wrote this during the pandemic and just popped it out. Maybe this is not one of her better writes. I don't know. For me, I don't even know if I'm making any sense at all, but I wanted to come on this morning, and because I am dedicating this whole 10, 12 minutes to this book, and to hate it. Well, hate is a strong word. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. So this is going to be one of those books that I'm passing, and I'm going to pass to a bookshelf. Like today, when I am at a bookstore and I see Olive Kitteridge, I go, oh, oh God, no, This might be one of those books. I hope that maybe now she did rewrite The Dutch House. Is that what it's called? So that's the one I was thinking about writing, but I do remember I picked it up one time and I put it down. Maybe this author is just not for me. Maybe her writing style is just not for me. It's a little too one note, a little too monotone. There's no excitement, like, at all. None. Like, zilch, zero. There was, you can pick up a book and in the first 10 pages, this is going to be good. And I kept waiting for that to happen, and it didn't happen. And I'm still trying to figure out what the hubbub is about this book. So, did I miss the boat? Am I being too hard on it? What do you guys think? Did you like this book? Did you read this book? If you read it, let me know. If I'm completely off the mark, let me know. Am I the only one in the United States or in the world where in any country that this has been published that just felt this book was overrated? I'm so sorry. Well, that's my take on Ann Patchett's Tom Lake. And I really wanted to like it, but I just really am going to give this a 1. So anyway, that's my take. And I will see you guys soon with a Fatty Patty. You guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye now. Take care. Be